Alrighty, I have a Minebuster update for you guys today. So Minebuster, if you've been following along on Patreon, you know that we were tipped off about Minebuster a little bit ago. We gave a little bit, about a week's notice before Minebuster was going to get touched. But there is definitely a lot of missing information on what's going to happen to Minebuster. It's pretty obvious. It resembles exactly what happened last season. So it's definitely not going anywhere. But there are some key information that it needs to be discussed in terms of what's going on with Minebuster. There's been a lot more work that's happened in the area. And if you've been following along on Patreon, you would know what I'm about to talk about. But essentially, I'm going to put a map up on the screen in just a bit. But I wanted to show you guys just the immense large section of Minebuster that has been taken apart. All the way from the drop to the turnaround has been ripped up. And do I think this is all that's going to be done? Part of me says no, because there's been really good information coming out that the lift hill was going to get some work done to it as well. And when I put my map up on the screen, I'm going to explain why there's evidence of that as well. But we'll have to wait and see. But this is a really large section. It's about approximately, again, a huge approximate with this, about 1,000 feet of track that has been ripped up. Now, who's going to do the retracking is up in the air. I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, that we see signs of Gravity Group doing the retracking, and there will be signs if it is Gravity Group. There could be prefabricated track that shows up. There could be vertical sections on the actual wood segments that would hint that it's Gravity Group as well. Or it could be in-house. Do I think it's going to be RMC? No. Do I think it could be GCI? Not really. My assumption, keyword assumption, is it's going to be Gravity Group or one of Canada's Wonderland's biggest in-house projects to date. Now, knowing that they are also working on Wild Beast a little bit, it does make me think this is going to be either a third party or Gravity Group doing Minebuster, but who knows? Could be surprised. Last year's section, I don't know who actually did that part of Minebuster. I do know that it was a third-party company that did it in assistance with Canada's Wonderland. So that's the route that could be happening with this as well, a third-party company coming in and assisting Wonderland with the retracking, and it's half in-house / supervised by a third-party company. Similarly to what we see with RMC when they're working in other countries. But yeah, let's bring up this map onto the screen because I want to show you guys something I've been talking about on Patreon for about a month now, 3 weeks to a month now, because it's got some really key information. So looking at the map, you can see the orange section is the current track that's been taken away from Minebuster. Yellow was the section of track that was done last season. Red is the red X's are current orange markings on the job site with numbers. Don't know what those numbers mean. Can't see them close enough on the drone to get any sort of evidence as to what that could be alluding to. Now, you have to keep in mind that Splashworks is in the middle of an expansion, and those markings could be for that. I do know that Whirlwinds is one of the water slides that is up in the air to being removed, and these markings do kind of take place around that water slide, and there are survey markings attached to the Riptide Racers, I think it's what it's called. So that area's definitely got some sort of plan in place for Splashworks. Now, the green is where they've ripped up some service road and laid down some gravel. Okay, so the green over underneath Minebuster's lift hill has been dug up. They've actually removed the concrete, and they put down some crane gravel. Now, where the shed used to be, the green next to the helix, that has had some crane gravel put down there as well. So very interesting. Now, the giant red circle you see under Super Soaker is an electrical unit that was there until about a month ago. They ripped up that electrical unit and they've built it elsewhere. So the reason I wanted to put this stuff into this video, this was Patreon exclusive about a month ago to 3 weeks ago, but I wanted to put it in this video because it really starts to encompass what could possibly be going on in Splashworks. And the reason I say that is Minebuster is obviously receiving one of its biggest, I'm going to use the word upgrades in history. It's one of the biggest wooden coaster upgrades in Canada's Wonderland history, but there's other evidence around that suggests that there's splash work activity that is related to this coaster. Now, the good news is if you're a Minebuster lover, this means the coaster is here to stay for, I would use the word forever, but forever doesn't mean forever. It just means for a really, really, really long time. There's no plans to remove Minebuster anytime soon, so this coaster can be taken off anyone's list of attractions most likely to leave. And to be honest, this was one of the most likely attractions to leave for a Splashworks expansion, in my opinion. So the fact that they're keeping it and upgrading it definitely speaks volumes as to the areas they're going to do the Splashworks expansion. Now, why did they rip up the green service road? I've been hearing rumblings that Minebuster was going to get a new lift hill, new chain and all that. There was evidence of it with some crates underneath the station. So with that being said, I think they ripped up that and laid down crane gravel because they're also going to do the lift hill as well. That's a huge project. So are they going to do it? I don't know. That could be a next year thing. Maybe they just wanted to order the chain to put it a part of this year's budget and not next year's. That is a high possibility to that. But there's definitely some interesting factors surrounding Minebuster and the Splashworks area that I just wanted you all to be aware of. So there is still a lot of missing information. Who is doing this retracking? What is the purpose for this retracking? That one's a pretty easy one outside of if it had anything to even do with the Splashworks expansion. Minebuster is desperately in need of a retracking. This is great to see. And you've all heard me say that Six Flags is in a huge spending spree right now, / they're going to start rolling back some of the spending at the same time. So they're going to invest the money where they need to strategically, but remove attractions and eventually a park or two to help alleviate the costs of operations. So I would definitely keep your eye out around Whirlwinds / Riptide Racers, whatever it's called. And the Super Soaker Purple Slide. It is definitely not going anywhere, the Purple Slide, but it's definitely, there's markings all over it. There's markings all over Riptide Racer, and there's a couple on Whirlwinds, and there's markings surrounding Whirlwinds and the Minebuster upgrade. And the electrical box being removed underneath Super Soaker. So definitely keep an eye out there. We'll be keeping an eye out there as well, and stay tuned for more updates as these are some really exciting times for a lot of their bigger parks in the Six Flags chain. You're going to see a lot of money being spent at some key parks, and I can tell you it's very evident that Canada's Wonderland is one of those parks. Anyways, thanks so much for watching this really, I guess, in-depth, not quick, in-depth update on Minebuster. And yeah, we'll be keeping you guys updated. If you want up-to-date daily information on Minebuster, almost daily, definitely subscribe to our Patreon. I'll link it down below. Have a good one, guys. Bye.